Welcome to day 3 of Gateway Cup 2023. This is a Giro Della Montagna. I got a good start in this race, lining up pretty far up there. So, usually when I get a good start, I like to take advantage of it and go for a little move. It's worked before. Figured on this course, everybody might be more willing to sit up just a little bit, but had to give it a go. So, sitting fourth wheel into the third corner here. Got some good fast guys up the front, but they're probably going to be wanting to wait for their teammates. So coming around this, I'm going to go ahead and send the first attack of the day. Had a good warm-up, so knew that my body was going to be able to handle that, and if you can see in the rear view cam there, I do have quite a gap. Really just rolling the dice there. Not always a great idea, but in this case, I got to stay off the front for like a lap, and then was joined eventually by Miami Blazer. I think that's Ruben Campagnoni, and then another fella who was struggling pretty hard there. We ended up rolling for a lap or two before getting pulled back in. Was still able to stay kind of towards the front, but a little bit later on, I had rested, so I went for another little move. I think there were two guys off the front here. Actually, not yet. So this is just a move on my own. Sent it across into that section, which was probably my favorite section to attack. Seemed like a good one to send those corners, and I was actually joined by Brendan Fury there, who can also send some corners, and Sebastian from American Cycling Group on the wheel. Sebastian was given orders to cover and kill stuff, so he wasn't pulling through with us, which means Monk and I are probably not going to commit fully to this breakaway, knowing we've got a passenger who's not going to be working with us at all. We were still rolling pretty hard. Nevertheless, Monk was saying he was doing 90%, and I was at least that. You can see my heart rate's up to like 180 beats per minute there, so we're going pretty good. Once we get caught, Blazers countered us right there, and they brought one of my teammates, so I am more than happy to sit up and let that go. I think the field ended up just coming around us in ones and twos, so the group came back together. At this point during the race, we're less than halfway in, and I'm kind of understanding that breakaways are gonna take a little bit of time to form. And I'm just gonna sit in the field here. It's getting a little bunchy into these corners. Not too crazy, but it was a little costly to be in the field farther back. A little bit later on, there was a little stretched out part. Two guys went off the road. Frank Travieso, I know, was up there quite a lot, and I think we're going to try and bridge to them here. So I send a pretty hard bridge move, and on this section, which is a backstretch, there is an uphill kind of at the end, but this flat section is still pretty hard because of the headwind. So you can see two groups up there. There's two with Frank Travieso in it, and then another two in between me and them. And we ended up catching that group, and Frank and his brake partner stayed up the road for quite a bit. Eventually, the group came back together, but some attacks were still going. So we're on the lookout for any attacks that have key players in it. I know I was watching Summerhill the whole time, because that guy can roll a brake pretty well, and seeing Sebastian roll back our brake or just cover and kill, I knew that they wanted Danny in a move, which makes sense. It's an ACC race, so he's going to get all the points he can and really secure that victory for himself and the team overall victory. A little later on here, there's a break with Danny up the road of 6 guys, and my teammates Peter and Ethan had just done pretty good turns on the front to bring that break just a little bit closer. Hassani Hennis here actually did quite a big attack, and I followed him up to this break, which was a perfect bridge move. I didn't really have to do much more than anyone else. We brought that first internet bank rider up, so me, Hassani Hennis, first internet bank. We had, we'll see once we get closer to this move, yeah, I was lucky to be able to sit on his wheel for this bridge because we're still going hard and I'm sitting behind him. So once we got to the break, I had plenty of gas to continue rolling through and kind of keep the brake dynamics cohesive. So we catch this break. Frank Travieso's up there, Kyle from Texas Roadhouse, Danny Summerhill on the left, and then Tanner Ward Blazers. We've got Ayuso from Denver Disruptors there in the black, and then on the front, one other rider. Ayuso would actually start sending pretty hard attacks here. I think this one was for a preem, but he kept rolling with it. He got a lot of distance very quickly. You can see a few of the guys got nervous with that. I was nervous about it too, but I had just finished pulling, so had not much left in the tank to respond. Here I'm behind the work hard, be humble. I think this is Preston rolling through in this break. We did have pretty good dynamics other than Wanayuso attacking, and the field kept a pretty good gap to us. I think there was like 15 to 20 seconds for a while, which is close, so we had to keep rolling really hard. But once we got that gap established, people did start attacking. So Wanayuso was attacking a good bit. I think Kyle there from Texas Roadhouse attacked once or twice. So it was still difficult, but people were willing to work to keep the breakaway. Eventually, Noah Grannigan, which you can see here on the right behind Ayuso, another Denver Disruptor, bridged up. He was the last guy to bridge, so now they have 2 Denver Disruptors in the break. Ideally, if you have 2 people in the break, which is awesome, you're going to want to use that in the end to start attacking, just one after another, break up the large group, and that's exactly what they did. So coming in, I think this might be one of the later laps here. Coming into one of the later laps, you can see Wanayuso is attacking pretty hard. So he comes up on the left, and Danny's immediately on him on the right there. I saw nobody else behind was really responding to it, so I actually had to burn quite a big match there through this second straight to get back onto their wheel. I did like this corner a lot and generally could make up a lot of space. Like you see there, I wasn't even pedaling and made up quite a bit of space, maybe from the momentum I had gained with that effort, but that corner was a lot of fun. Coming into the hill with the headwind section, Yuso just stayed on the front, and we're already pretty tacked out here. My heart rate's pretty high, and he's pulling quite hard. So coming into the hill part, he just stays on the gas. You can see I'm doing 600 watts, 500, 600 watts into this uphill, and we're just kind of, in my mind, I'm thinking like, when is this part gonna end? Because I'm cracking a little bit on this. So I'm in that mindset, and I'm probably not gonna do a lot of pulling after he pulls off. I'll cut in and then pretty much sit up. I've already burned a match to stay with that. I was kind of expecting Noah Grannigan to attack over that, but I think he was banking on his sprint being good, which is usually a good bet for him. This is coming into the last lap here. See, Danny attacks. Wanayuso is already off the front right now. So Wana attacked, I think, with 2 to go and was off the front for half a lap coming into 1 to go. So he's been off the front. He's got quite a gap. You can see, what's that on the front? That's Preston pulling Wanayuso back the best he can. Danny doesn't want that to go away either. Noah's got a pretty good ride on Danny's wheel and can save a little bit of energy. But Danny's going to do his best to pull this gap back. And eventually he'll see that the whole brake is on his wheel. And once he does see that, he's going to relax a little bit. So you can see down to 20 watts right now, just keeping the legs spinning. And then Kyle from Texas Roadhouse on the left, he's actually going to do his attack and try to get up to Wanayuso. This was a pretty good attack. I'm in a good spot to just follow the wheel, but doing like 700 watts there. So hard attack. And then we follow it through. Coming in, guys are just popping. Tanner's eating some wind right here, so he's doing more effort than I am. And then Frank Travieso cuts up into the second to last corner. I'm going to hop on his wheel, but I've lost a little momentum there, so I probably had to burn a little more than standard into that. Coming around into the last corner, I'm sitting 6th wheel, and everybody's going to start their sprint. Real downhill sprint. Tanner pulls off because he's done that little match, and I am already at a slipstream of Frank. He's seated sprinting right now. Kyle's up there in the front. He already did his attack, so I think he's just got the shoe pulled, and Frank pulls away from me a little bit for 3rd. Danny Summerhill with the win. Noah Grannigan in 2nd. Frank in 3rd. I got 4th place, which was a cool result. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.